Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, and air restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is investigating the migrant encampments in Jacumba. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. KPBS has previously reported on unsafe conditions at the open-air camps, and border reporter Gustavo Solis has this update.
You guys gotta go down the hill.
The Homeland Security Department's Civil Rights Division confirmed the investigation this week in an email to KPBS. The office says officials have observed the camps and spoken to migrants and their advocates.
We are welcoming of the news and the development that DHS has decided to formalize and conduct an investigation.
Adriana Hasso has spent months helping migrants in the open-air camps in San Isidro and Jacumba. People in the camps don't have shelter. They receive very little food and water from Customs and Border Protection. Officials have said they don't have enough capacity to process the tens of thousands of migrants trying to enter the U.S. So they have to keep the migrants in open-air camps while they wait. In October, a woman at the camp in San Isidro died shortly after arriving. Caso says the investigation could not have come at a better time.
We have rain coming up this week.
She hopes the investigation puts more pressure on CBP to provide better conditions. Temperatures in Jacumba are already dropping to the 40s at night. Activists there are frustrated that there isn't a plan already in place to deal with the winter weather.
It has been 3 months. By now, the most powerful, wealthiest country in the history of humanity is not able to provide fundamental basic needs to women and children. I find that hard to believe.
CBP has been using the camps on and off since fall of 2022. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
Wet weather on the move tonight. In fact, the heavier rain presses into the picture and continues to be steady at times as we go right into midday on Friday. And then after that, we've got some sunshine to talk about, believe it or not, heading into the upcoming weekend. Of course, holiday travel is on everyone's mind. We'll go beyond and talk about what's in store for early next week, too, just a little bit later on.
Parts of Southern California were drenched by rain that moved in last night. This is video from Oxnard in Ventura County. The National Weather Service says more than 2.5 inches of rain fell in just a few hours, and that's described as an event that happens once in every 500 years. Several roads had to be closed due to heavy flooding. And rain and travel are not usually a good mix, but that is what San Diegans can expect ahead of this busy holiday travel period. The FAA says today is the busiest flying travel day, and AAA says it predicts 7.5 million people will be flying between today and New Year's. As far as travel from San Diego goes, the airport authority wants to remind passengers about the ongoing airport construction at Terminal 1 and to arrive about 2 hours before your domestic flight. As many people plan to spend time with others in the days ahead, COVID-19 is becoming a concern. The CDC is warning about a new variant. As Mandy Gaither reports, it's currently the fastest growing strain of the virus in the U.S.
In a matter of weeks, it's expected to become the leading coronavirus variant around the world. JN1 has been dubbed a variant of interest by the World Health Organization because it's spreading quickly.
We kind of sensed something different was brewing.
Dr. Joseph Cabaza is a pulmonary and critical care physician at Cleveland Clinic. He says the past couple of weeks he's seen more people being admitted into the ICU with lung issues related to COVID-19.
They have not led to as many ventilators or kind of nothing like the volume we saw early on, but it really, that has been the notable change.
The CDC estimates COVID-19 cases more than doubled in the U.S. between late November and mid-December, perhaps from holiday travel and waning immunity. JN1 only has one change to its spike protein compared with the variant it descended from, but that change seems to have been enough to make JN1 a fitter and faster virus.
If you have diabetes or obesity or heart failure, or especially if you're on medications that lower your immune system, you're in a higher risk category.
To protect yourself and those around you, Kabaza says to first know your risk, whether you're vulnerable to severe disease. Then, if you're having respiratory symptoms, test for COVID-19. If you're infected, antiviral medications can help if given early.
Minimizing your odds of being hospitalized or getting very sick.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The California Attorney General's office will appeal a federal judge's decision blocking a state gun control law. It would have banned people from carrying handguns in many public places. Attorney General Rob Bonta made the announcement today that his office will appeal SB 2. In a statement, Bonta said, quote, "If allowed to stand, this decision would endanger communities by allowing guns in places where families and children gather." Ralph's Supermarkets is being sued by the state for its hiring practices. The state's Civil Rights Department says the company violated the Fair Chance Act at locations across Southern California. The law aims to protect people with criminal records during the employment process. Ralph's is accused of denying hundreds of people based on past convictions and not following rules that allow for appeals. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is calling for substantial changes to the city's ordinance that regulates the use of surveillance technology. KPBS's Scott Rodd says privacy rights advocates are pushing back.
Last August, the City Council established a process to review and approve each surveillance technology used by police and other city departments. The city had 1 year to complete that process, but so far, only a handful of items out of the hundreds identified by the city have been fully approved. The deadline has since been pushed back by 3 years, and now Mayor Gloria, who declined to comment for this story, is calling for more sweeping amendments.
It's an entirely rewritten ordinance.
Lily Arani is a privacy rights advocate and associate professor of communication and computer science at UC San Diego.
So one of the most alarming changes in the mayor's proposal is to massively expand the list of technologies that are just completely exempt from any transparency, any oversight by council at all.
The proposed exemptions include police databases and fixed security cameras. Gloria also wants to reduce the amount of time the city's Privacy Advisory Board has to review technologies and give guidance to the city council. Community members on the board would have 60 days instead of 90 days.
We shouldn't be rushing into multi-million-dollar data contracts that could put residents in danger of having their data leaked everywhere.
City Council President Sean Elo Rivera says he's reviewing the proposed changes.
We want to take the time to not just read it ourselves, but to have conversations with the Privacy Advisory Board members and other members of the community who we know have important insight as to how any changes could impact the community.
Elo Rivera says he expects the full council to vote on the mayor's proposed changes in late January. Scott Rodd, KPBS News.
The National Retail Federation says holiday shoppers are expected to spend almost $279 billion online this year. That's a lot of deliveries, and people aren't always home when the boxes arrive. KPBS reporter Melissa May tells us how to protect your packages and what to do if you fall victim to theft.
I thought that we were better than that as a community.
College area resident Flavia Contreras bought a special holiday gift for her daughter online. But instead of putting it under her Christmas tree, Contreras put the package description in a police report.
I got pictures and notifications on my phone. I was at work, I saw it, and when I got home and was very excited, I had made plans to hide it from my kids, and I saw nothing.
On November 30th, 2 porch pirates casually took the holiday gift and one other package right off her porch in front of a neighbor, who later explained what he saw.
Someone came here in broad daylight, stopped their car. They were 2 people, and just walked to her house, nonchalant.
Her neighbor took these photos of the thieves' vehicle. After the theft, the Contreras family feels unsafe, and they've even reduced their online shopping.
It makes me feel violated because that's my home. Someone walked to my house, to my doorstep, and just felt that was okay for them to take something that was mine while I was at work.
Chamberofcommerce.org revealed their 2023 package theft statistics after surveying 1,250 consumers nationwide.
We found that 26%, about 1 in 4 respondents, that they've been victims of package theft and had at least one package stolen.
Colin Zarnicki is a researcher with chamberofcommerce.org and says the average package value was about $82, and 22% of victims had some sort of surveillance camera when the theft occurred.
It appears that thieves have become more brazen, even though there is some sort of deterrent, whether it be a security camera or a doorbell camera. It's not really affecting whether or not someone decides to steal a package off of someone's home.
Amazon spokesperson Montana McLaughlin says if one of your Amazon packages is stolen, to immediately reach out to their customer service team, who is available 24/7.
Every circumstance is unique, and so we like to help every person and hear their story and understand what's going on so we can find the right solution for them.
Both Amazon and FedEx encourage package theft victims to file a police report.
That's because the more people who report porch pirates and package theft, the more law enforcement becomes aware and hopefully can help monitor those certain neighborhoods where there could be patterns or trends to help catch the culprits.
San Diego Police Department data shows as of 2022, burglary reports have gone down in the last decade. If your package has been stolen, chamberofcommerce.org recommends you also contact both the sender and the carrier of the package and file a missing package claim. Melissa May, KPBS News.
And everyone loves to think that they found the perfect gift, but sometimes things do not go as planned. Consumer experts say every retailer has their own return policy and every shopper should read the fine print. Karen Kafa breaks down what you need to know.
Maybe it's a perfect fit, or maybe it's not. Last year, the National Retail Federation expected almost 18% of merchandise sold during the holidays to be returned. So retailers are ready, but policies will vary. Melanie McGovern of the Better Business Bureau says to read the fine print about what's required.
There's a lot of return fraud, so retailers will ask for an ID, even if you have a receipt. So it's really important to make sure you have your ID, any kind of receipt, whether it's gift or original, and the original packaging, which will make your return a lot smoother.
Some retailers have made return windows more flexible to account for early holiday deals and more lag time between gift purchasing and gift giving. But last year, the National Retail Federation estimated holiday returns would cost about $171 billion. So some have added restrictions, especially, they say, with an uptick in return fraud. That's why McGovern says it's not unusual for fees to be attached.
A lot of retailers do have restocking fees, especially if it's a higher ticket item. Some retailers will take the postage to return the item, if it's an online retailer, out of your refund.
And when buying online, confirm whether the item is coming directly from the retail platform or from a third-party seller who may have a different return policy. In New York, I'm Karen Kafa.
The holidays are a time for family, friends, and fun. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer says there's no shortage of ways to celebrate this time of year, but one free event in Vista goes beyond your standard lights and hot cocoa affair.
Hidden in the rolling foothills of the city of Vista is Brangle Terrace Park, which is home to an outdoor venue that can host up to 2,000 people.
All of the gnomes that you see up on the top, actually my dad and I sat in his workshop and cut all of those out 2 years ago.
This holiday season, it's been transformed into a winter wonderland, says Moonlight Stage Productions managing director Mike Bradford.
It's fully decked out. We have video and light shows available for people to come and see, concessions, crafts and special events for the kids to do, scavenger hunts, photo opportunities with Santa, even nights like makers markets and a live band on certain nights as well.
It's called Jingle Terrace Live, and it has humble beginnings with a drive-through event back in 2020. Bradford says now it's bigger and better than ever.
Every night you'll see just a line of families come in. The kids, their eyes light up. There's a giant Christmas tree as they come in, and they see that it's kind of covered with candy decorations.
So far this year, the event has brought out more than 20,000 people since it started on December 8th. It's the 4th year of Vista Jingle Terrace, and for the last 2 years, it's been here at Moonlight Amphitheater. While it might not look like much in the daytime, at night, it's a whole different story.
Christmas time is here, and Christmas songs you love to hear.
The event is running a full week longer than in 2022. Moonlight Cultural Foundation's development manager, Jenna Rawls, says it's free because it's funded by local businesses in the county of San Diego.
We were able to do 16 nights of free holiday entertainment this year. It's so important to us that this event remains accessible to all of the residents of Vista and surrounding cities. So keeping it free and then keeping it open on weekends as well as weeknights.
She brought her own family on opening night and says it was magical.
The light show. It's so fun. My kids were dancing around in their seat. The music is fun and lively. Everybody's dancing. Halfway through, there's a snow machine that shoots out from the stage, so the kids are, going crazy in the snow. It was very fun.
Jingle Terrace Live also functions as a collection and donation station for North County Food Bank. The outdoor holiday event is for people of all ages, and the show will go on rain or shine. It runs nightly from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. through Saturday, December 23rd. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
An appeals court in San Francisco has rejected a petition seeking to overturn a California Public Utilities Commission's decision that overhauled rules for customers with rooftop solar. The 2022 vote from the CPUC requires solar customers to sell back their excess energy at a significantly lower rate. Critics of the decision say lowering the rate creates less incentive for people to make the investment into solar. Today is the winter solstice, marking the start of the season. The next few weeks are usually some of the busiest at California ski resorts. But as Brittany Hope reports, while many resorts in Lake Tahoe are up and running, there isn't as much snow as this time last year.
From the winds to the let's try that again. Sierra at Tahoe is ready to welcome crowds ahead of Christmas and New Year's.
How's the snow this year, you guys? It's a little sad so far.
Despite much help from Mother Nature.
Currently, we have Easy Rider Express as well as Slider and Magic Carpet. So this gives you access to really good beginner terrain. That's also our teaching terrain. So we've got tons of lessons going on for both adults and kids.
3 of the resort's lifts are open right now, but that could soon change.
We're looking at the forecast ahead, and it looks like we're actually going to get like a couple little dustings for the next couple of days to kind of keep conditions fresh and hopefully allow us to open up more terrain.
How are the conditions?
It's slow, but it's picking up, yeah.
I got here yesterday, came to snowboard, and a little bit underwhelmed.
Just ask Kyla, who was here to see it.
We went to downtown, and then we couldn't come back home because there was so much snow.
But these tamer conditions are better for her first day snowboarding. Ever.
It's fun. I think I'm getting the hang of it.
At Heavenly Ski Resort.
How are the conditions?
Today's better than the last couple days.
A little more than half of the lifts are up and running.
Came up here and not super disappointed, not super excited, but as snow hunters, you kind of just gotta take what you get.
Right now,
how has the snow been so far?
Good enough to ski.
It's hard not to compare.
Last year we had about 4 feet of snow, so everything was open, the whole mountain. Right now, it's, we've had 17 inches the whole season.
Director of Mountain Operations, Barrett Burkhardt, hopes it'll cool down enough Friday and Saturday nights to keep up those cool snowmaking operations in the heat of the Christmas rush. To him, it's all about perspective.
I'm open like 4 more runs today, and that's mostly due to snowmaking.
And patience.
We want some more snow. A lot of people complain about how much snow we had last year. I'll take that much snow any year.
Well, here it comes. Rain, perhaps even. And don't be surprised if you hear a rumble or two of thunder. Overnight low temperatures will be dropping down into the upper 50s, and that wet weather is going to be area-wide, again, working its way from north to south and eventually off toward the east here very slowly as we work our way through Friday. Chula Vista down to 56, Oceanside 56. Again, a steady, at times heavy rain coming in. There'll be some downpours, along with a rumble or two of thunder out over the interior. Mount Laguna 35 degrees with some wet weather around as well. You can see it here on future radar and satellite. Again, going from at 10 o'clock on, these bands of downpours continue to funnel in. We'll start to see them begin to peel away from the coast a little bit more by the time we go into Friday afternoon, but still some showers around. Interstate 10, Interstate 8, Interstate 15. We're going to see some big-time delays here with that concern for flash flooding. And we continue to see the wraparound effect going on here into Friday. So over the interior, the inland valleys, mountainous terrain, we can continue to see that wet weather. All right. So we talk about temperatures for tomorrow. We'll be climbing up into the mid-60s around San Diego, Chula Vista 64, Oceanside 66. And a month's worth of rain still in the cards here. 1 to 2 inches of rain. Again, in these areas along the coast, can even see higher amounts as you work your way north. At 1.67 inches would be the historical average rainfall. Again, and we're going to see quite a bit of a precipitation over a large swath. In fact, flood watch is out right through Friday evening. I want to take you through time here and get into the extended forecast to show you there is change coming. And it comes later on this weekend as the sunshine makes a return out at the coast. Toward the interior valleys, we'll start to see the sunshine making a return. Even a little warming trend here heading in toward Tuesday. Overnight lows dropping down into the upper 30s, though. Over the mountainous terrain, can see the rain into a little bit of snow over the very highest of terrain. And then sunshine returns. A little bit warmer, but still chilly here Monday into Tuesday. Out to the deserts, also looking at the wet weather on Friday, but that clears, and we're in the clear literally as we head into the weekend. For KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Justin Pavic.
We're looking back on some of our best stories of 2023, and many of them are about public art in San Diego. It's a special series from the KPBS newsroom. Web producer Laura McCaffrey shows us how art plays a big part in the county's new Live Well Center in Choice View.
The art installation Light of Passage hovers under a skylight at the County of San Diego's Southeastern Live Well Center. Hand-cut pieces of 4 different types of glass are attached to stainless steel wires, representing the nearby Choyas Creek. It's a sunny day, so the glass creates shadow play on the wall and floor below, splashes of blue, purple, and yellow.
I came up with a sort of a general concept that went out to the public, to the community for feedback. During that period, they've expressed their desire to see a lot of colors and something that gives hope and optimism.
Kaori Fukuyama created the art.
I wanted to use materials that really sort of shines and reflect off of our beautiful sunlight.
Light of Passage is one of many pieces of public art at the new Southeastern Live Well Center. Organizers of the center's art program say the pieces selected were based on community member feedback, an attempt to create a building for the community. The Tubman Chavez Center used to be where the Live Well Center stands now. In October 2021, construction for the 65,000 square foot facility began. The goal was to combine several resource buildings into one. Live Well Centers are meant to provide social and health services to San Diegans. They're designed to be one-stop shops, aiming to prevent many visits to different buildings for access to various services. When it came to installing art in the building, the county gathered community input and then used a public art committee to make selections. Barbara Jimenez, Community Operations Officer at the county, said it wasn't hard to get feedback.
What we heard directly from the community, that this is a diverse community, and that having the opportunity really to reflect the diversity through art was really important.
100 artists submitted proposals to a call for art in spring 2022. Art was purchased from 33 artists, with 14 commissioned to create pieces especially for the building. There's installations, statues, paintings, a meditation garden, and more. One of the community requests, diversity, is seen in Francisco M's piece Crisol, meaning melting pot in Spanish. It consists of panels with ceramics and textiles. It's located in the stairwell under Fukuyama's installation. Visitors see a new panel every few steps taken. Eme says the textiles are from different cultures in San Diego.
This work is very non-personal, meaning that I did very little treatment to the textiles. I'm pretty much respecting the original design.
And so each of the flowers celebrates our community here.
Art consultant Leah Goodwin wanted the building to feel like a healing place.
There's evidence-based design principles that I use from my decades of putting art in hospitals and creating healing environments that are at play here. Even though it's a public health center, people still may not be having their best day. And we, so as a public art consultant, we looked at ways to find touch points to create beauty.
Fukuyama hopes that visitors find that beauty from her work's light and colors.
I'm hoping that if some people visit here more than once, then they see the changes throughout the day, throughout the season, and notice little things that changes around us.
Laura McCaffrey, KPBS News.
And here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS Newsroom. NPR's Morning Edition host Stephen Skeep speaks with Microsoft's CEO about the opportunities and potential dangers of artificial intelligence. And KPBS Roundtable is taking a look at how 2023 has been for the local craft beer industry as San Diego Beer News crowns the Craft Beer of the Year. And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, and air restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.